Yo, what is good, my anime people? What is good, yo? Yo, Radiant and Sword Art competing for this Saturday spotlight, and they both did so amazing. But I still just wanted to talk about Radiant because it was the first one I watched, and Sword Art's still a little bit more fresh on my mind, so I wanted to go back and watch some of the stuff, make sure I got everything right. But this week's episode of Radiant, oh my lord, there's so much that drops. First of all, it seems like we have seen a small weakness in Grimm, which is kind of weird to kind of see it so early. It feels like his character is getting developed relatively fast throughout this arc. Uh, I mean, we met him quite like right before even they got into the town when Dragonov was out there hunting um, down a nemesis. We saw that he was also doing kind of the same thing, or at least he like cut the nemesis that was like passing by or something like that. So to see him like and understand so much more about him, it's feels really crazy how quickly it's happening. First off, he is looking for someone named, or looking for two people named, one named Behemoth, or Bahamut, and the other one is like Surtur, or something along those lines. Um, and clearly, he was hoping that whoever might have taught this girl how to control the nemesis the way that she was doing it was one of them. So by bringing up their names and trying to test if she changed, like her pulse changes, or her like like she starts sweating or something. Because the crazy thing about this week's episode is literally Grimm was like sweating uh, outside of his like mask thing, or his bandages. And I thought that was super weird and nuts in my opinion, because it kind of undershowed me that no matter what he was doing against like his opponents, they weren't pushing him to a state where he was like sweating about it. The most his opponents have done is made him use more and more weapons, and this girl making him bleed this week was the other thing that kind of surprised me when he saw his own blood and kind of just like started freaking out. But there was something he said that kind of also caught my attention, like I can't I can't allow this life to be lost, something along those lines or something. So it's almost as if he's not even this is just like a body he's in or something. So that was actually kind of weird. Grimm is definitely a character I want to know everything about. So all the words that he says kind of just, um, they're more important to me than some other characters in the show. Sorry to say it. But yeah, other than that though, we get to just see how he pretty much is taking this situation with Seth and figuring out, if you're not against me, I could probably, stand some help, or I could easily take whatever you're offering, and if it is something that can help me in the long run, I'm gonna, try to win this fight with you. So Grimm's pretty smart when it comes down to the decisions of just making some allies to better his chances. And not to mention, we still haven't got any mention of who he was hired by, or why he's even there in the first place to hunt down this person. Like, how did he know this was going to happen, type of deal. Not so much like, oh, why is he picking these jobs? Like, no, he clearly is hunting two people, but the question is, who gave him the information to know to come here? Because seemingly that was the whole point of him journeying here and supposedly having a job in this area, which he doesn't usually get to see. He clearly has jobs that are more like secluded and not in big cities because he was surprised to even be in the big city. So enough about Grimm though. Seth had probably the most promising encounter throughout this whole entire episode, which we might just find out that this man that we talked to, his name started with a P. I tried to pronounce it after he said it, and it just didn't sound good. But the man that he meets, the man that has given the general the mission to hunt down this boy with the horns, is pretty much now revealing himself to be family in some sense of the matter. I mean, usually animes aren't so crazy about like using other lines of family. It's either brother or father. Like that, they never go like, oh, it's my cousin or it's my uncle or it's my brother's uncle's cousin second removed from a third distant relative. You know, it's always, oh yeah, that's my brother. Oh, or yeah, that's my father. You know, like $5 says it's his brother or father. I'm sorry, it's just these like animes kind of forget that other relatives exist, and there's like, oh, if it's a boy, then it's your brother. If it's a girl, it's your sister. And yeah, we got ourselves a show here. Like, no, there's other relatives. We can have a can we have an uncle or like a cousin or something be the one? Like, nah, that's stupid. So that's just been my common like little grievance with how they choose to pick their little their family members and to see their backstories. It can be really promising and like awesome because I mean even look at Fairy Tale, like somehow Zareth is related to Natsu. We find it out in the anime, and they seemingly look like more like brothers because at one point you can see them both at the same age, like they're pretty much the same size, same age. And if that's the case, then boom, bam, we we narrowed that down. Like, or is he? Are they? Were they friends and thought they were family? Like what the heck? So with this guy showing up and pretty much giving us this information about Seth not being able to even freely use his energy, was kind of shocking. Like, oh, by the way, Seth, you're holding yourself back. Why are you doing that? Pretty much is what I got from this, and from what I'm understanding, this man could either bring it out in a positive way or maybe a negative way. And why is this why is this even happening? I don't get it. You know what I mean? Like, not in the sense of like why did he show up and why did he save him and stuff, but why is this band-aid so powerful to hold back Seth's everything, um, including since we saw that this guy pretty much had the same set of horns almost on like in the same area that Seth did, not to mention they were way 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 bigger. So maybe that's what starts to happen once you remove like once you start having more control, like your cursed marks get bigger or something. But the other thing that sounds like is he has a cursed mark, or he said he thinks it's a scar. Seth thinks it's a scar. So I'm interested into just seeing what the heck they're going to play with all of this, because it could go either way. That Seth has another, like he's the only one that has two curse marks, because even back when he was a baby and Alma like came to rescue him when he was at the stake that we saw and they're about to burn him and stuff, he even had that band-aid on his face then. So this has been a long long time coming that supposedly he's been hiding it. And for me to hear what Alma said back when Seth was leaving altogether is don't become a monster. And I'm guessing maybe that's just who her brother might be. Maybe when you remove the band-aid, you can become a nemesis almost. Or like you have you have transformative like magic or something like that. Like once you're really really one with the phantasma or something along those lines, because it would be crazy to know that some of the nemesis that she was fighting against were humans that like fully changed or something, or even his brother slash father, whoever this guy is, maybe he was the one that was that snake creature that pretty much took her arm and stuff. So, because he didn't really seem too surprised at hearing that a sorcerer was the one to do this to him. So, in my opinion, that just goes to show you he's like, oh yeah, Alma, yeah, I tasted her arm, her flesh, her life. So that's just my guessing, though. I'm just completely throwing guesstimations out there. I'm not completely sure where this is going, but to be fair, I am loving every moment of it. So I am kind of biased now when it comes down to this show, in the sense of it's got such a good build up for me right now that I just want to know where it's all going, and once I know that, I can just sit back, relax, and continuously enjoy my show. But yeah, other than that, we get to see this really weird moment with Doc and finding out that yes, he is actually cursed, just like Seth and just like everyone else on our squad. Just his curse was nowhere near as like easy to spot or like easy to even tell, which is like kind of lucky for him, because then he just doesn't have to deal with other people trying to hunt him down. I mean, unless they were there to witness what happened this week's episode. He freaking molded. This guy like shed his skin and started a new life. Like Doc is like, he kind of has it the worst, because if I was him, I wouldn't want that ability. Like, to be fair, I would want more like, power or some type of attacking stuff. But to find out that you straight up got to you got to still live your life out with all that debt that he has, man, that sucks, bro. Like, you can't even die and get away from your debt. You literally just come back as a baby and you're still in debt. Oh man, so that was a pretty rough outcome in my opinion for him, just because like he could have got something else. Like, oh man, his body gets really shriveled up, so it tries to, like, all of his body fat protects him from dying or something. But this man's still gotta come back to life as a baby with debt, dog. That's messed up. Oh, just thinking about it makes me laugh. Sorry. But yeah. So Doc's okay. Some people in my comment sections were like, "It'll be okay, guy. Doc's a good guy and everything." So I thank you guys for giving me some hope about Doc's condition, and without even spoiling me. You're not like, "Oh yeah, he'll live for sure," and you didn't say he was gonna turn into a freaking baby. But yeah. Thank you guys so much. I am the Anime G. I hope you guys enjoyed. I will be dropping Sword Art video very, very soon. So make sure you have that notification bell ring-a-ding-dinged on, and I will have that content to you very soon. Not to mention, if any other shows and stuff pop up later on today or tomorrow, I will also be reporting on those, because this channel pretty much does things daily. So if you like daily content, the Anime G is the person to come to. So with that, everybody, I hope you have a good day, night, evening, whatever the case is, and I will talk to you in the next one. All right, peace.